Hi, and welcome to this new episode of That is Life, coming to you from the Graceland Studios, courtesy of the Diaconia Hands of Grace CBO Kenya. My name is Zephaniah O. Daniels. Over the ages, man has had to contend with his greatest and worst nemesis, that is, the fear of failure. Success at any level in any sphere of life ignites the inevitable drive and clamor for more. It is the definer of one's course of action. The pursuit of happiness is a sacrosanct aphorism passionately embraced by the American populace. Their collective unity of purpose has seen the country weather the fiercest of geopolitical storms and economic downturns and successively remaining a superpower unrivaled ever. The 2001 World Trade Center terrorist attack was a wake-up call to the American people that military and economic might is not a panacea to territorial security and safety against determined forces of darkness out to annihilate it from the face of the earth all those they perceive rightly or wrongly to be perpetrating and perpetuating the downfall and eventual erasing of their faith. There was hue and cry from the citizens of that country for more security assurances from their leadership. Thereon, the Department of Homeland Security was born. However, with the emergence of the then ISIS, Al-Shabaab in East Africa, together with the ever-increasing influence of groups like Hezbollah and Hamas in the Middle East, the fear of unknown security risks still lingered on. More recently, Iran has renewed its call for the destruction of America and Israel. This resulted in the almost 3 months war, which saw the latter two launching attacks on that Islamic State. Part of the strengths the USA enjoys is informed by and founded on the historical rapport it has enjoyed with its traditional allies in the West and Israel. In Africa, the strategy employed by the USA majorly revolves around security concerns and business interests. There is some high level of mutual benefits to all parties involved in these issues. In the context of self, is it therefore possible to have this scenario? My take is that the ability of the self faculties or individual faculties to work together in a unitary force for the benefit of the whole is not far-fetched. The coordinating of the senses in disregard of the inherent biases, the two selves in the self, will not only strip the self of the turpitudes that bedevils it, but will give new impetus and fresh realism towards achieving high-level self-actualization. It needs a strong willpower and focus on what one wants to fulfill in life. Self-inflicted fear born out of the expectation of punishment for crimes committed mortally deprives one of happiness and the motivation of doing anything useful during a period of waiting. It takes a brave person to will their senses to owning up to their mistakes and accepting the consequences. One should always be alive to the many dangers and risks surrounding them. As a collective whole, Therefore, one should strive to make honest alliances without prejudice with other selves. This is insurance for raging storms from without against oneself. The concept of comparative advantage is to some extent relevant in the context of social coexistence. This should not be limited to tangibles only, but embrace to the fullest the exchange of ideas and skills. What needs to be done is to first critically interrogate our strengths and weaknesses to ascertain the areas in which we can excel individually and what part of our faculties can be engaged to realize the desired results. Second, and most importantly, can the product of this engagement be utilized to give some insights to the hitherto unseen and untapped potential? Are we therefore able to multitask? Man should be able to use their unique extra sense of foresight to determine potential risks and eventualities, and accordingly put in place mechanisms to mitigate the same. Be innovative and creative, because that is life. Thank you for watching.